Hey people!
Hey everyone, welcome to Geek-Ass Chat. I'm Shirley.
I'm Christy.
And we're back!
Yay, finally!
Yeah, it's been, the month has been kind of rough, the personal month. We had to take time away and stuff.
Yes.
But why not come back with a very important documentary?
Yay!
From one of our viewers who watches our shows a lot. And thank you so much for for watching our shows.
Yes.
Her name is Charysse Harper.
Harper.
Tia Harper, sorry. You know me and my names. Charysse Tia Harper, and basically I think it's on Instagram or YouTube. Her channel name is Xplore the World, and she's a viewer, and thank you so much. Christy got to interview her.
Yes.
That's so cool. So the documentary that she produced is Panomundo Part 1, The Evolution of the Steelpan. So of course it talks about the Steelpan and where it came from, how it started, and where it is now with the younger generations of worldwide. There's actually a Part 2, Panomundo Part 2. I know this is the title. What's the title? Oh yeah, Part 2, Worldwide. So it talks about how it goes to the United States to around the world, and how it's living on today with the younger generations and how important it is. And I didn't know nothing about the Steelpan, so it was really great to go into this documentary and learning one of these instruments that you always see play in the streets, but you don't know. I don't know personally really much about it. So yeah, you got to interview Charysse, so we're gonna put the interview after
our
mini review.
This is a very mini review
because Charysse is gonna tell you everything she knows because she's the producer of the documentary. So it's better to hear from her than from us. No, you know, because she's in the know. You know.
Yeah.
And but of course we wanted to give our mini review. We're just gonna talk about a little bit about what we liked, right? In the sense of I love how it went into the history of it. How it started, it goes a little bit into carnival and how it's before Lent, and basically it's a farewell to the flesh and free spirit and stuff. And I think it also talked about how it started with French settlers in the Spanish colony. Let's see what you. I was about to mess that up too, because I was like, how you say colony? I was literally gonna mess up. How they started Mardi Gras, and the slaves that they took over there to Trinidad. Oh, it started in Trinidad and Tobago. If I forgot to mention that, the Steelpan. I'm sorry, I forgot, because that's very important. That's where it started. And how the French settlers didn't let them be involved in Mardi Gras, so they started their own carnival, and
with
singing and drumming and clapping, their own form of freedom during those hard, difficult times, giving their own voice and celebrating, celebrating, who they are,
Yeah.
So yeah, it started with oil drums, and how it also talks about how it started as a gang, and how it started in poor communities, and if you played steel drum, rich people looked down upon it, because of course it started in poor communities, and mostly boys who played the steel drum and all that stuff. So that was interesting how it started off, and how people who play steel drums want to see how it's an instrument, and it's a very important instrument, and how people shouldn't look down upon it in a sense. But that's more in the part 2, I think. So I was kind of going into part 2 a little bit.
Yeah, it also talks about it in part 1. But yeah. So just because this is a mini review, real quick, it talks about the history of Steelpan, even before the Steelpan, what other type of instruments that they were using to make music, and you would be shocked about what kind of instruments they were using and creating, and it was amazing. And I'm not going to tell you more because you got to see the documentary.
Yeah, it said it went to skin drum to oil drum.
Yeah. So just make sure you click on the link. It's only $3.99 to rent, $6.99 to buy. It's totally worth it. You learn so much about the Steelpan, the history, the movement, how it's part of the liberation for their people and pride, and it's amazing instrument.
And to fight, I guess, in the form to fight against colonialism and slavery and people trying to take away their identity and freedom. And it's that music, it's beautiful and it's like liberating. It's only 42 minutes. It's amazing too.
And who's the director?
Keith Musaman. Morton. Sorry. You know me names.
Always trying. We're gonna keep it going.
I'm trying. But you hear music playing because it's a documentary about music, about the Steelpan. So you hear the music and you want to dance too. Yeah. So part 2 is not out yet.
It's not out, but we'll let you know when it does come out.
We got to watch it. And it was really good to see how it expanded around the world, but also trying to teach the younger generation and also trying to teach it in school, and to see how popular Steelpan playing is in other countries that you wouldn't think so. Like one of them was Switzerland, which was okay, yeah. And then it talks about the 3 different forms of you could be a tuner, I think, and then
gets into so much detail.
A tuner, people who tune it and stuff, and playing, and it went into what position. I don't think it's called positions. It's not like a sport, but what different parts you play in the instrument. Yeah, I guess. So I thought that was cool. That was interesting.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned because
interview is coming up right after this. Watch it. Click on the documentary. Watch the documentary and enjoy.
Yes, and thank you for watching, and thanks again to Xplore the World for watching the show. Check out this documentary.
Yes.
And also, we'll put the link below. Subscribe, tell us what you know about the Steelpan, if you heard it, you love it, and the instrument and stuff. So. And
share this video with anyone who loves music or wants to know more about music.
It also talked about, but this is more part 2, how they play in Juve and stuff. Yeah. So that was cool because we're in New York, so. So that was interesting. So thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Peace. We out of here. So Charysse, let's tell the audience why you're here today.
Yeah, cool. So I'm here today because I am the producer of Panomundo, which is a 2-part documentary focusing on the history of the Steelpan and its influence around the world. So the first part is called Part 1, The Evolution of the Steelpan, and that's 42 minutes long. We filmed that strictly in Trinidad and Tobago. And the second part, Part 2, Pan Worldwide, we showed how the Steelpan went from Trinidad and Tobago to the US, UK, Canada, Switzerland, Japan, Nigeria, and I'm forgetting some other place. Japan, Nigeria, Canada.
It's all over the world.
It's all over the world. It's all over the world. So we just had a screening of Part 2 at Columbia University as part of the African Diaspora International Film Festival. So I'm just here to talk more about Panomundo.
Okay, great. Thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
She's also a fan of Geekettes Chat.
Yeah, so I love the reviews.
Okay, great. That's so great. So I have to say, after I watched your first part, I was really taken away with this Steelpan story. I actually don't know anything about it. Right. I've heard very little actual music, with regards to Steelpan. And honestly, when I watched it, I learned so much about it.
Thank you.
How important it is towards history from when it first started, and how it started among gangs.
Correct. Yep.
Which I found that to be the most interesting part about it. It was like, this is amazing. Like, I can't imagine. I mean, I live in New York City, and there's so much gangs in the city.
Right.
And just like, you know, gangs picking up an instrument and creating music. I mean, like, how incredible is that story?
No, I mean, the steel pan is such a unique instrument. Not only is it the only acoustic instrument invented in the 20th century, but it came because of so many reasons. It came as a way to bring forth a call for independence. At that time, when the pan was being invented, around the early 1930s in Trinidad and Tobago, it was still a commonwealth of the United Kingdom. So World War II happened in 1939, and then there was just a revitalization to just become your own country. So then by having the drumming band from the times of slavery to then going to the bamboo and then picking up an instrument, picking up steel, they just realized the different sounds that they can have. And then you still had the colonial forces that still wanted to try to ban the music playing. And it just became a global phenomenon. When the United Kingdom was having their Festival of Britain in 1951, they wanted to bring a steel band because they heard that it's getting more popular, and they wanted other people in the UK and around the world to witness the steel band. So instead of just hating on the people, the gangs that were doing the steel band, the government decided to create an organization to make it more legit, to give these pan players money and really showcase it as an instrument that can do a lot of good. And by getting that popularity and raising the money to go over to Britain to showcase the steel pan in 1951, it became recognized as an international instrument in which people can actually make a living becoming a steel pan artist.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. And watching part 2 too, which I love about part 2 is that it talks about the New York City.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And like it, you know, starting in Harlem and then moving out into Brooklyn.
Correct.
And all that. So it was great. I mean, it was even considered, it was banned at one point in New York City, right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh, like who would ban a musical
instrument.
instrument?
So it's so funny because you will see this in a lot of the countries about banning this instrument. UK, and we have it here. And when the steel pan came to the United States, New York was the first hub. So there's the most steel bands that exist in the world exist obviously in the United States. We're a bigger country, but the largest concentration is in New York City. And when you think of a steel band, now you think of a carnival. It's always associated with the carnival. Here you have the Labor Day parade.
Juve.
Yep, Juve. You remember Juve? Yep, Juve. Which is what happens right before carnival begins. So it's usually from about 4 in the morning until 10 in the morning, and then so Toronto you have Caravana, in London you have the Notting Hill Carnival, and the steel band is always a part of this. So when they usually decide to ban it, it's usually alongside banning carnival, because they feel anytime you get a group of people combined, you know, they're always fearful that things are going to break out. Some people always want to say that it's more racially motivated than actually being nervous about fights and stuff happening. I don't know. You watch the film and you go away with your idea. My job is just to document it and educate, and you take away what you want. But yeah. But I think that the New York City is known. I'm originally from Los Angeles, and I can say that New York City is the proper place for immigrants. You may not know how to speak the language, you may not have any money, but as long as you have a dream, you can make it in New York City, more so than any city I feel in the U.S. So no surprise at all that the pan came over here first.
Okay, great. And I have to say, where are some of the places we can find the films?
Yeah, so Panomundo Part 1, we finished that in 2015. It is currently on Vimeo, so if you go to our website, which is Xplore the World, there's no first E, so it starts with X, exploretheworld.biz, B-I-Z, /Panomundo. Hopefully we could have that on the screen.
I'll link it at the bottom.
Yes, click on the link. And then from there, you have different options on where you want to see the film. Vimeo, you can buy a DVD, you can stream it. It's going to be on Amazon by the beginning of next year, but not yet. You can also view it on Quelly TV, which is touting itself as the Netflix for black and other minorities.
Wow, I don't even know about that.
Yeah.
Look them up.
Yes,
Oh, that's
Quality
great.
TV, yeah. And then, so that's part 1. Part 2, we are going to put it on Quality TV at the beginning of next year. But right now, the only place you can see part 2 is by inviting us to come and screen it near you.
Yeah, so yeah, if you want to, either reach Charysse or Geekettes Chat, and we'll put you in link with them so you can screen it at your location or community center, wherever. Yeah. So I want to ask you some questions about your experience actually working with the film. Did you actually get the opportunity to travel out to these places and actually be on set while you, because I know you're the producer.
Right.
And what was that experience like?
Yeah, so we use the producer as a loose term. So the film is really made by 2 people, Keith, the director, and myself, the producer. Because we all needed to have specific titles, he's the director and I'm the producer. But we both directed and produced the film. But at the end, we're like, okay, somebody's got to get one title.
Right.
So I'm like, fine, I'll do the producing. In terms of making this documentary, this Panomundo Part 1 is my 3rd documentary, and Panomundo Part 2 is my 6th documentary. So in between both parts of Panomundo, I did 2 other films. And in doing Panomundo, you'll see it. Panomundo, as I mentioned, Part 1 is 42 minutes, Part 2 is 87 minutes. And the goal was to travel to the 7 countries, which we did. So because we aren't backed by a big studio or have some type of great investor, we always had to crowdfund. So we would go to a country. So we started off in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm cheated because my family is from Trinidad and Tobago. So we stayed with my aunts and uncles, and we were able to film the film there. And then that wasn't much of a cost, except the flights to get over. But so we came back, we edited a bit, and then we had to put the money together to go to Canada was our next spot. So really, it was a mixture, and I'm not kidding when I say we had over 30 fundraisers. We did 3 crowdfunding. We did 3 crowdfunding ventures. We just had really good luck. For example, when we went to Japan, my sister's best friend is a flight attendant for Hawaiian Airlines, and they traveled to Japan. So we got free flights to Japan.
Oh, that's amazing.
We were able to stay. My friend was in the Navy. He was at a naval base in Yokohama, so we were able to stay at a naval base there. And Nigeria, the former president, Chief Obasanjo of Nigeria, he was the first person to bring in the steel band in Nigeria. So we linked up with one of his colleagues, and they paid for us to go to Nigeria. So we traveled to all those countries, Switzerland, Japan, Canada, and it's just a lot of good luck, a lot of supportive people, crowdfunding, fundraisers, and yeah, we were
just your own network, right?
Yeah, and other people who just believe in the project. But I mean, I would definitely say it's not that we received $50,000 to go do it. We had to work very hard for it. That's why it took 7 years from the time we began in 2012 to when we finished in 2019.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, but I was able to go to all the countries, so that was exciting.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh my God, I would love to travel and do work in other countries, especially in films.
Yes, I was saying Geekettes Chat is a perfect forum to do it. I know I'm plugging you and you don't need this, but I think Geekettes Chat is such a great platform because you have 2 women talking about a variety of films. Sometimes you guys do indies, sometimes you guys do mainstream, and I look forward to when you guys do more international things.
Yeah.
You know, like the underground things like Bollywood and well, not that Bollywood's underground, but I mean underground in terms of Americans really knowing about it.
Right.
Like Trinidad, for example, our culture is half African and half Indian. So Bollywood's very popular in Trinidad. So I actually really like Bollywood, and everyone's very shocked when I tell them that. I'm like, I'm familiar with Bollywood, and it's just things that people don't see on a regular day basis. And I think, when you guys are ready to go international and do something, let me know, because I would love to hook you guys up with that.
Oh, that'd be great, actually. I have one more question.
Yeah.
And if you feel comfortable speaking about this, how has it been you being a woman of color in this industry? If you have anything to share, any challenges or inspiration or any what you do now that helps you just get through it.
Yeah, so women of color, I usually do get that question, especially because whenever we show the film at, say, a school or like an elementary, high school, or university, and people always ask that question, how is it as a woman of color? And I always say, you even need to break down the color part, just woman. If you look at film business, it's majority men. Yes, you can even start saying white men, but at the end of the day, it's men. So even being a woman in this field has been, I think that's the biggest challenge for me, is you're trying to get people, because people are always so quick to be like, oh yeah, okay, darling, okay, yeah, this. And I'm like, no, I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for 10 years, over 10 years now. And I think the hardest barrier is to, and I think Keith said it best. Keith is the director of Panomundo, and he said that people don't necessarily believe you when you tell them that you're going to make a film, because they've heard everyone say it. They need to have proof that you're going to do it. So the biggest challenge for me, I don't even necessarily think it's being a woman of color, because my experiences are very different from someone coming from another location. As I mentioned, I'm from the Los Angeles area. California's a liberal state. The area I grew up was very diverse, so I've never had, I feel, a problem being a woman of color. A woman in general, yes, but not still where barriers are closed. Because we film international documentaries, the name of our company is Xplore the World. We get more backlash, not necessarily being of that ethnicity of where we want to film. So people look at us as outsiders, fair enough, and they're always hesitant, and because I'm American, they always think that we are coming in to take something from them and then run away, and they'll never see us again. So that's been the hardest part of my specific type of filmmaking, because we only focus on international, social, and cultural stories, and it's always gaining the trust. I think it goes back, I don't know if this is true, I think the psychology goes back to the colonial times, and so I think everyone's always weary of outsiders coming in.
Right.
They're like, why are you here? Same thing, Latin America, Spain came over and whatnot in South America. So yeah, I think that's been my biggest impediment, is being an outsider. And I think once you can gain trust by showing people what you've done in the past and just being yourself, people just want to know who you are. And once you can present that, and if it's genuine, they'll see it and they'll open up access to what you want to do.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your next project?
Yay! My next project. So although I love the Steelpan, I am moving on to another culture. I'm looking at the Latin culture. The documentary is going to be called Las Matadoras, and we're looking at 3 female bullfighters. We're looking at a retiree in Spain, we're looking at a veteran in Peru, and we're looking at a novice in Mexico. So the plan right now is to film the different women, but to highlight general, and I'm going to say general because it's a 60-minute documentary, the general aspects of bullfighting. We'll understand the traditions. We'll look at the cost of putting on a corrida or a bullfight performance. We'll look at the aficionados. We'll look at the animal rights activists. And we're just going to, and then obviously we'll look at the Latin American culture and these women who decide to do this male-dominated sport in this machismo society. And I'm very excited about that. We're looking to film at the beginning of January, and yeah, this is a story I've wanted to tell for ages, but because of Panomundo, and it's just been pushed back, but I'm like, no, I need to.
Happening.
Yes, I gotta get this on the.
I'm so excited for this project too.
Thank you, yes. I look forward to Geekettes Chat doing another review on this when it's out.
Sure. So thank you for coming on the show today.
No, thank you for having me. It's great.
This is great to have you today. I'm hoping that this will be just the first of many more to come with your projects. And I really appreciate that, because I'm definitely trying. Me and my sister Shirley want to move towards like indie projects and stuff like that, just to get out there, especially projects that have women at the helm of them. So it's really exciting stuff. So thank you for sitting on the show with us.
Thank you. I'm very excited, and I look forward to you guys' review of Panomundo. I will not be offended anything you say. Because at the end of the day, for me, filmmaking, it's not about people liking my film. If someone walks out saying they like it, I'm like, cool. But when people come out saying I learned so much, I'm like, great, I did my job.
Right.
And that's
I
all.
mean, it was a great story for me. So I really hope that you guys take the time to really just click on the link and watch it. It's a great documentary.
Cool.
So,
Thank you, Christy.
Thank you, and peace out.
Bye.